welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland, and this is Let Me Bore Your Frozen Shoulder Away. Now, I'd like to say that title again and say the word frozen instead of frozen. But hey, too late now. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is... I'm gonna call this a requested recording for Hillary. Although Hillary has not actually requested me to do this recording, but mentioned... In fact, I should read it out for you. I'll read part of it out for you. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Oh. Okay. So Hillary posted this on my Jason Newland's boring group, a boring Facebook. Yeah, Jason Newland's boring group. It's my Facebook group. Join if you like. Hey, just want to come and say a massive thank you. You help me sleep every night, and I would be lost without you. You're really like a close friend. I don't know. That's lovely. I've been having a difficult time with stuff which has led to me having a frozen shoulder. So menopause issues and stuff. And asked me if I'd do a Let Me Bore You to Sleep kind of trivia Tuesday talking about menopause, which I did yesterday. But to be fair, I don't think it was very good. And, you know, it's not something I really know a lot about. I discovered a bit more about it, you know, by looking at by, you know, learning a bit about it from going online. However, what I thought I would do is, I mean, I could potentially do a separate podcast for menopause, for issues surrounding menopause, and do some recordings. But this is going to be focusing specifically on frozen shoulder. So for those, I mean, I guess anyone listening to this would know what a frozen shoulder is, but for those that don't, it's classed as frozen shoulder or adhesive I didn't even know this, adhesive capsulitis, which can be a challenging condition characterized by stiffness and pain in the shoulder joint. So you can get it from just sleeping wrongly or from lots of different ways. It can cause and it's basically just, it's hard to use your shoulder because it can feel tensed, almost like it's frozen, or be very, very, very painful sometimes. So this is what this recording is about. I'm going to talk about various things that you could use, techniques that you could use to help with your frozen shoulder. If you don't have a frozen shoulder, you could still listen to this and use exactly the same ideas for a different part of your body. But I will be talking about the shoulder. Okay, so, you know, it could be a knee, but I'll be talking about the shoulder. Okay, I might actually do recording specifically for the knee. Quite often when I do a Let Me Bore Your Pain Away, it's a very vague, you know, so you can focus on whichever part of the body you want to choose to focus on, which you can anyway, but I'm going to mention in the shoulder. So that's, I don't know how many times I'm going to say the word shoulder in this recording. Vinny, stop moaning. He's moaning. I took him in the garden, he did a wee-wee. What do you want? We need to find some way of communicating with dogs, because he's hassling me and I don't know what he wants. I think he wants another treat, the way he turns his head there, but he's not eating his dinner. So I put his dinner back in the fridge because it's been there for like an hour and a half. Put it back in the fridge. If you don't eat your dinner, you don't get treats. I'm trying to explain to him, by the way. Vinny's my 25-year-old son. Vinny, no. If you don't eat your dinner up, you don't get treats. No, you don't. I don't care how old you are. Well, go and get a job then if you want. No, it's my dog, Vinny. Vinny. So he's hassling me. Okay, I'll give you one more treat. One more. And you can leave me alone. Not forever, just while I do this. Thank you very much. Always disrupting my recordings constantly. He woke up, right? Well, we woke up 3 o'clock this morning. It's a little bit earlier than normal. Well, I don't know, maybe it was like 3:30. So I think to myself, as my neighbours having their kitchen done, it starts around 7:30. They start coming in, and sometimes the noise is quite loud, and then other neighbours put their music up to cover the noise up, and it's hard for me to make a recording. And today's recording was a Whisper Wednesday, Let Me Bore You to Sleep. So I thought, okay, I'll just make a recording. I'll do a Whisper Wednesday, because it involves whispering on a Wednesday. And I'll do it while there's nothing around, no one around, no noise or anything. He didn't stop hassling me. He started whining and moaning. At one point he even started barking. You're not having any more, stop begging. That's enough. I've never been so angry with you. Okay, I have. So all I'm going to ask you to do, right, 2 things. Firstly, if this is useful, tell other people, let other people know. Maybe share it online, on your Facebook group, or tell friends, family, lovers. Phone people from the past they haven't seen for 30 years. You know, it's like, hello, I don't know if you remember me. We dated in high school. We went to prom together. Well, not together, but you was in the same room. Yeah, check out this recording. Don't suppose you ever have problems with your shoulders, do you? I don't mean quite like that, but just, you know. And also, let me know. So all I'm going to ask you to do is focus. Notice how your shoulder is now. I'm going to say shoulder. Of course, it could be both. But I'm just going to say the word shoulder because I've got a thing about saying the word shoulder today. Who'd thought it'd be a shoulder day? And ironically, I've got a bit of a issue with my shoulder. And that's caused by sleeping, because I have to sleep on my side, because I have sleep apnea. I can't sleep on my back. So I have to sleep on my side, otherwise I have a few problems. It's just a physical thing, it's nothing else. And had it for a long time. But sometimes I will sleep on it and it's like, oh, it gets a little bit frozen, and it hurts. And it means I can't sleep on it anymore. So I'm going to focus on my own shoulder while I do this. Focus on your shoulder. Notice where it is on the discomfort level. 0 being nothing, 10 being ow, like really ouch. And just notice where it is now, and then at the end of it, if I remember, I'll ask you to notice where it is when it's changed, when I've just been chatting complete nonsense at you for an hour. It won't all be nonsense. A lot of it will be nonsense. A lot of it may not seem like it's even relevant. That's because it's not, but don't tell anyone. I like people to think that I've created some kind of strange hypnotic technique, psychological magic or formula, which sounds like I'm just talking about mundane stuff, but in reality I'm embedding these suggestions and bypassing your brain, your mind, and then getting into your unconscious mind and making these changes which are good for you, which will help you, which will actually relax your shoulder, and you'll feel calm and comfortable at the end. And you'll be like, wow, what did he do? How did he do that? He just spent the last hour talking about toenail clippings. And, it kind of, but none of that's happening. I really just talk about rubbish sometimes. Some of that might be happening. Who knows? You have to make your mind up yourself. So it's really, I'm going to go through some techniques, and I'll kind of talk through them. But I think to start with, we're going to have Vinny being a little bit chaotic throughout the recording, which it's just the way it is. I can't do anything about that. He's a little bit, he wants attention, which is weird because he doesn't like me trying to get his attention. If I'm like trying to do something, he'll be all over me. Give me attention, Daddy, come on, Daddy, give me attention. Am I your favourite son? But then when he's in bed and he's asleep, and I go to him and say, and I want a little bit of cuddles, I want a bit of loving, a bit of, attention. He's like, get off me, you're not my real dad. It's, it just turns. So get in touch. I suppose a good thing we could start by saying, get in touch with your body. Just notice how you feel overall. Like a short body scan. I would say close your eyes, but it's up to you. You don't have to close your eyes for this. But again, only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And I'm going to say, if you're in the middle of digging to this centre of the earth, probably wait until you've finished. Although, I saw this documentary, and it's about this, I think it was in Russia, and it's the deepest hole on the planet. And they were trying to dig to the centre of the earth. They wanted to see how far down they could go. And I suppose partly probably to see what minerals were down there, to see, do you imagine if they find fossils like really far down? Because the further down the fossils are, the older the planet is. It's a bit like trees, isn't it? Or layers. It's kind of, I don't know if it is like a bit like rocks. You've got the formations and the layers. The further you break down the rocks, you see fossils, something that was there before, like millions of years ago, or 2,000 years ago, depending on what your time scale is for the planet. And they had to stop doing it because the tools couldn't handle the heat. Once it got down to a certain point, and I'm not talking about the core, I'm talking, just it got too hot and none of their equipment could handle it. And it just, the digging equipment was melting. So they stopped. Even I don't know what the relevance is of that. That doesn't happen very often. I'm like, why did I just talk that? Why am I talking about the Russians digging a hole, the biggest hole in the world, and their instruments melting? What's that got to do with the price of bananas? But I don't know. Just seemed like I mean, it could have helped the shoulder. Did your shoulder feel better? Haven't heard that story. Maybe not. I don't know. It's weird. So you do a little body scan. Just notice how you feel from the head down to your toes. The weird thing about it, and this is just my personal opinion, my personal experience really, rather than opinion. I've been doing a body scan since probably 2000, so 25 years. And I've noticed that there's something about getting in touch with not just how you feel in this moment, but you also become aware of this moment. And when you're aware of this moment, you're no longer concerned about the past or worried about the future. It takes 2/4 of the stress away from you. Because, if you break the stress up by, should I say 2/4? 2/3, sorry. Geography never was my strongest subject. So if you got 3/3, obviously, cut it in to 3 bits. In fact, if it's 3/3, you wouldn't need to cut it in 3 bits because it would already be in 3 bits, wouldn't it? Otherwise, it'd just be 1 bit. You know what I mean. So you've got the past, the present, and the future. So that's stress, which stress and tension makes the shoulder worse. Stress and tension increases physical chronic pain. Oh, by the way, just make sure you get permission from your doctor before listening to this. I realise we're 20 minutes in, so maybe that's a bit late to say that, but find out the cause of the shoulder stuff first. I mean, I personally wouldn't go to the doctor with a frozen shoulder, but I've had it so many times I kind of know what it is. But if it's, if you don't know what the cause is, then do go and see a medical practitioner and get permission before listening to this. And yeah, something I noticed a long time ago when I first started making these recordings in 2006, and I used to do chronic pain relief face to face with people for free. Had a free service in my local town because there's a hero and it's me. The one thing I noticed, apart from how difficult it was sometimes to sit there for an hour without farting, that's something that was new to me because I'd never had to sit in a room for a whole hour. Didn't realise how often I farted. And, being in a small room with very little ventilation, it was a bit awkward. But again, that's not really what I was mentioning. When you relax, I'm not talking about relaxing your shoulder, just generally, when your mind feels calmer. And that's part of the reason I've had a degree of success online making recordings, because I used to think that I was being relaxing through skill. I thought I was using sophisticated techniques, and it was due to my relaxing tone of my voice and using the correct words in order to lead someone from being stressed and in pain to feeling more relaxed and calm, and to just generally have a bit more freedom in your shoulder. But it turned out it was just because I was boring. And I was boring people to feel relaxed, and I was boring people to sleep. So about 6-7 years ago, I started doing the Let Me Bore You to Sleep recordings. Bearing in mind that 6-7 years ago, I'd already been doing recordings for over a decade. It took me over 10 years to realise that, and people telling me, said like, you know, I did a podcast once just talking about my life, and they said, oh, you bored me to sleep. I thought that wasn't the point. I thought what I was telling people was exciting and interesting, but no, they thought, oh, this is really good, this is so relaxing and calming. So it's almost like, it's weird, the idea that your shoulder has ears, it's a weird concept, but it's almost like the different parts of the body that need to listen seem to listen themselves. Even when our mind, your conscious mind, is listening to some of the maybe not so relevant things that I might be saying, and my squeaky voice, but your shoulder's listening, and your shoulder realizes the intent rather than the content. I'm quite pleased with that. I didn't know that was coming out of my mouth. The intent rather than the content. I wish I could write that down, but unfortunately I'm left-handed. I don't understand my own writing. Can't write with a left hand. And it was like, wow. But it's because, you know, do you ever get that? If you was in, say you was in hospital, or I was in hospital, for example, I'm going to start using myself as an example. I was in hospital, and the nurse was sitting by my bedside, and I woke up. Maybe I'd fallen out of a helicopter. I don't know what it was. The bungee jump went wrong. Who knows what it is? Maybe I was trying to surf a crocodile. You don't know. It could be anything. And I kind of opened my eyes and I don't know if I'd make that noise, but I would open my eyes like, and I'd see this person, whoever it was, man, woman, whatever, looking at me. Even if there was no communication, let's say they didn't speak English, or they were from another country. I mean, I suppose it could happen. And I would be able to tell if they were kind, if they cared, without verbal communication. You don't need verbal communication to see if someone actually cares, if they're being gentle, and the intention, which would be to care, which I'd say most nurses do have that intention. It's because they've chosen that occupation because they do care. And maybe your shoulder's a bit like me in that hospital bed, seeing that friendly face, or maybe not even be able to see the face, just even if I had something wrapped around my head so I couldn't see anything, or maybe I didn't have my glasses. Maybe I thought I had something wrapped around my head and my eyes were covered. I was like, I can't see anything. I said, it's all right, your glasses got broken. Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought everything's fuzzy because my eyesight's not great. And I just could hear a voice going, and it could be anything. It could be like a language I didn't understand. And to be fair, I don't understand most languages. That's an honest thing. probably most languages in the world I don't understand. I don't know how I got so far in life, really. But yeah, don't know a lot of languages, just one. Still learning this one. I found out yesterday that menopause, men, stands for month. Pause stands for a pause, like a pause of the month. But men stands for month. Who'd have thought? But sometimes you can tell by the intention. Do you ever get someone just like, you know that they have good intention? You meet someone, there's something about them you know. You know that almost straight away that you can trust them. You don't know why, but you know, maybe it's the expression, maybe it's the way they talk, maybe it's the energy coming from them, but you know that you're safe, emotionally safe. And when you feel emotionally safe, you start to relax more. You feel more comfort. And any of that physical difficulties you may have had will reduce. Just automatically will reduce. And I noticed that back in 2006 when I was helping people with chronic pain. Sometimes it really was just relaxing. Doing a relaxation session. Nothing else was necessary. And it wasn't just about relaxing just your shoulder. It's not just about your shoulder relaxing, but it's the whole of the body. Because when you think about it, what percentage of your shoulder is your body? Or what percentage of your shoulder of your body is your shoulder? That might be a better way to say it. It's a small part of the body, isn't it? The overall, when you've got your back and your chest and your belly and your my belly takes up about 75% of my body, but it depends on what size you are, what shape you are. There's no name for a shape for me. Some people say, "Oh, got like a pear shape," or no, there is no like a really, really bad potato, like a really weird shaped potato would probably be my body. A potato that maybe got together with a misshaped turnip. But hey, it's not about my amazing body. So you cut it into three. So you got three parts: the past and the future and now. So when you take away the past, it's hard to focus on the past when you've got me blabbing on in your ear. And the future, it's not happened yet anyway, so it's not relevant right now. So you're dealing with just now. So you've already, and this is not my idea, by the way, this splitting it up into 3/3. Milton Erickson mentioned this in a book probably 60 years ago, so it's not and it's not a technique either, it's just I like that idea. Don't mention it very often, but yeah, I do. Something that I've kind of adapted as part of what I do. So you've got how much of your body is your shoulder. And this is Vinny, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. No, stop it. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Don't make me say go away again. Go away. Go away. Good boy. Oh, he's laying on his back. Oh. What are you doing? Why are you being such a willy head? Why are you being such a willy head? Eh? You sausage. Uncle Alex is going to get you a sausage. Yes, he is. He's going to get you a packet of sausages from the garage. Yes, he is. Right, back to work. So, leave me alone, please, mate. Look, you've been in the garden. This is ridiculous. I know I should edit this out, but I can't be bothered. Vinny, if he barks, I will edit it out, but can you please leave me alone? I'll tell you what, it'd be a distraction. There is the distraction technique. So if you had him here, you would not be focusing on your shoulder at all, because he would be just annoying you. Give me more. It's like, really? No, it's not Tom Sawyer. What's the Oliver Twist? All that's missing is a bowl, an empty bowl. He's got the facial expressions like, I've never eaten in my entire life. My daddy doesn't feed me. And then he realises, oh, he's talking to his daddy. Doesn't work when you talk to me, does it? Constant frown. He's a Jack Russell. He's got a constant frown on his face, and he's got little eyebrows. What are you doing that for? Okay, you want another treat? I have to buy you some more. That's the last one, Vinny. In fact, I'm going to give him the bag. Let's see if he can try and get it out of the bag. There you go. So yeah, so you got all the different parts of your body. Oh, really? There you go. I actually cleared this place up yesterday, and he's determined. Do you ever when you like vacuum the carpet, and then any little bit of fluff gets on it, or a little bit of something, like, got to pick it up. I'm in that stage. It will go. Eventually they'll probably be just covered in absolute rubbish. There'll be banana skins, and I've never slipped on a banana skin. Do you know? Okay, I've got a story. It's not necessarily relevant, but so when your body relaxes, which is just natural when you hear my voice, because I'm so boring, there's a calmness that can come. I mean, there might be some frustration. Some people are like, why get on with it? Why dance for me, monkey boy? Which, no, it's not going to be for everyone, but this is how I do it. And thousands of people switch off every day. I get thousands of complaints every single hour. Vinny, don't make so much noise, please. Complain about him. It's just a distraction, it's fine. See, you don't need it to be completely quiet to relax. I realised that years ago. I realised a lot of things years ago. Perhaps I should get back into, as I said myself, get into now. That's it, Vinny. Have a nice, quiet drink. Really? Like he's never had a drink before. He sounds like a huge dog. That's a lot of noise for just have a little drink, isn't it? A bit of water. So, just notice how your shoulder is now. How your shoulder's feeling. Notice how the rest of your body's feeling. I mean, you can go through your body, you can just like focus on different parts. But maybe notice how just over this time you haven't purposely tried to relax any part of your body. You're just allowing yourself to feel however you feel. But during that time, the last 30 odd minutes of listening to me, your body's going to relax. It's just natural for that to happen. And to be fair, if you're lying down or sitting in a chair that supports your body and you close your eyes, that in itself is relaxing. You know, it is just a relaxing thing to do. And when you take away the visuals, you know, take away your eyes in the sense of, that's a big sense to remove. In the same way as if you block your ears up so you can't hear anything, it changes your perception, not just of your surroundings, but of how you feel. Now, I don't suggest blocking off the sound, because you wouldn't be able to hear me, would you? But with your eyes closed, just that action of closing your eyes is a signal to your mind, to your brain, to your body, to your nervous system to calm down, to let go, to relax. Even if it isn't a sign to Vinny to shut up and go and lay down on the settee. You notice he stopped doing what he was doing. I don't know if you could hear that. He hears. Whenever I talk about him, he hears me. I wonder how much he understands. Maybe he understands everything. Because it might be a case of dogs do understand everything, but they get bored. And it's like they don't want to do what they're told or what they're asked to do. And perhaps that's what it is. They're just pretending not to understand. Perhaps they understand every single thing. And there's no way of us knowing. So you've got guided imagery for shoulder mobility. So, you know, this is something you could do. You can visualize the shoulder as it has been in the past, free and flexible. So it's kind of like thinking back to the last time that your shoulder felt completely relaxed. Think back to how that felt. Maybe remember where you were, what you were doing. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It's not like you're saluting a member of the royal family or waving to a helicopter full of giraffes. It doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary. Just like, remember when you could just move it around, which might have been yesterday. It will definitely be in the future, but it might have just been a few days ago when it was fine. A few weeks ago maybe. But you can imagine how it felt just moving it around in your mind. Moved it around, easy, smooth, the joints working perfectly. You can imagine yourself in a sauna, because you know when you're in a sauna with that heat on your joints, all of your joints will feel so much better. Of course, a sauna might not be a place that you like to be. It's not my favourite place. It's a bit too hot, a bit too stuffy for me. I mean, technically it's supposed to be, but still, yeah. And I don't know, if it's the whole beard, it's like the setup. I like the smell, but there's whole kind of a little room, and there's other people. Even if you know the people, you can't see them because of the steam. It's weird. It's a weird kind of thing. But I do like the smell. I like the smell of saunas. But it definitely, can you imagine being in the sauna and just moving your body around? Just moving that shoulder around. Or being in a swimming pool. Or a jacuzzi even. I'll tell you what I like. The bubble makers. Do you know the stream that shoots out of the... Well, you get it in swimming pools as well. The water, do you know, does it blow out or does it suck? I can't remember. In the swimming pool. I've not been in the swimming pool for a long time, since I was much younger. But I used to like to lean against it and just feel the bubbles, or the water just... I think sometimes some of it blew water in and then some of it blew water out, I think. But with a jacuzzi, it's, pushing the bubbles and stuff. And whatever part of your body you push against it, it feels nice. It's like a massage, isn't it? I don't know if anyone's ever attempted to use that massaging pleasure for the shoulder, but it could do. But being in a jacuzzi or being in a swimming pool, I mean, jacuzzi's a lot warmer, isn't it? But once you're in a swimming pool, it's quite warm anyway. Or being in a shower, a nice warm shower, or a big bath. Just being able to just move the shoulder around in that heat. So that can be nice. So you can rehearse that in your brain. Another thing you could do is just tell yourself, tell yourself these words. My shoulder, and if it's your right or your left shoulder, or if it's both, just specify. I want my shoulder to relax. You can put it like that, or my shoulder is relaxed. My shoulder is relaxed. Your shoulder is relaxed. And you've basically asked your unconscious mind to relax your shoulder. And there's nothing more that you need to do. You can just observe it while it relaxes. Or you can just continue to listen to me as your shoulder relaxes. Another thing you can do, the weird thing about it is with your mind, you can still be rehearsing, moving your shoulder around, manipulating your shoulder in that sauna or in that jacuzzi, or remembering another time in the past when your shoulders felt absolutely fine. And that rehearsal of feeling fine, feeling relaxed, can still continue. Now, let's have a look. What else do we have? So you can imagine an image of your shoulder, and you can change that image. So for me, I've been thinking about this recently, and I call it like a cut and paste technique. It's a little bit like if you was going to edit a video, or it could be a bit like a jigsaw puzzle in a way. So if you got, let's do it as a jigsaw puzzle. So you've got a jigsaw puzzle of yourself. Right, it's quite big jigsaw pieces though. Not one of those like 1,000-piece set that takes 6 years to put together, and then when you finally get to the last piece, it's missing. And then you trip over and it falls out the window. Not that that's happened, but just, I'm just saying that it's not a really big jigsaw puzzle, but it's got big pieces. I suppose, for like a kid, which would suit me probably. So the shoulder is one piece of the jigsaw puzzle, or two pieces if it's both shoulders. It's just a face-on image. It doesn't have to be a clear image, you just can see roughly with the body. You've got another jigsaw puzzle. So one's how your shoulder is before feeling completely relaxed, and the other jigsaw puzzle is of you feeling absolutely fine and your shoulders feeling just the same as the rest of your body, just fine, absolutely relaxed and calm, or even more relaxed than the rest of your body, loose, and it's completely fine. So what you can do is literally take out the piece from the new jigsaw puzzle of that shoulder where you feel exactly fine, feel great. Take out the piece from the other jigsaw puzzle and then just replace it with the new piece. Still exactly the same picture, but now changes the way you feel. And with that old piece, what you can do is you can just rip it up, because it's made of cardboard. I mean, I suppose you could have a jigsaw but my jigsaw puzzle's made of metal. How am I supposed to rip it up? Why would you imagine a metal jigsaw puzzle? Are you just trying to get into your own? Why? Get out of your own way. Make it easy to rip cardboard as well. Not that hard cardboard that's really, I can't get through it. I feel so weak. Even though you should be able to easy to rip up. And then you can just, I don't know, drop it in the bin, chuck it out the window, let it just blow away. And then you've got, so that's something else you could do. You've got progressive muscle relaxation. It's kind of like a body scan, but focusing on relaxation. So, for example, focusing on your shoulder now, just noticing the muscles in your shoulders just starting to let go. Maybe every time you breathe out, it releases more of that tension from your shoulder. And as you naturally breathe in at your own pace, you're breathing in comfort and relaxation into your shoulder. And when you breathe out again, releasing any remaining tension. And that just continues anyway while we talk. We could have just done that for an hour, just focused solely on relaxing your shoulder. Here's something I quite like the idea of, and I'm gonna make a reference to The Wizard of Oz, the original movie. You don't need a broomstick, don't worry, or a yellow brick road. You don't need any of the cast. You don't need any of the props from the movie. All it is, I'm just gonna. Do you remember when Dorothy finds the Tin Man, and he's like, "Oh no!" But he's stuck because he needs oiling, so he can't move. And I tell you, it's weird. I've always thought of like frozen parts of the body, like a frozen shoulder. Even when I was a kid, I thought that's like a Tin Man. It just needs oiling. Now, when someone's got like a knee that's maybe not, the joint's not working quite so well, and I'm not saying that my knee's exactly the same as a Tin Man's knees, because, you know, technically it's probably a fictional character. It might be based on fact, I'm not sure, I haven't done my research. But what you can do is, like the Tin Man, because the rest of your body's fine, hopefully your shoulder is now as well, but you can just imagine sprinkling some oil into your shoulder joints. Yeah, it feels quite relaxing. I'm just imagining doing it. I'm physically moving my hand and pretending to squirt oil into the joints of my shoulder. I'm kind of doing it in my mind, but I'm actually using my hand. Use the opposite hand, it's easier, unless you're double jointed. And could you do it if you was double jointed? I don't know. Another thing I've not really looked into that. I don't think I will either. I don't think having that knowledge would really improve my life. I don't know. It feels relaxing. It feels quite nice, actually. So you've got another thing. You can change the colours. This is something that I did. This is one of my first techniques I ever did with helping people with chronic pain issues. I got them. I'll go through a technique with you so you can do it if you want. Here we go. So just focus on your shoulder. I wouldn't always say focus on your shoulder, because I did have people with other parts of their body. You know, it wasn't that I was like, I've been coming to you for 3 months now. You know, you're very relaxing, but why do you keep focusing on my shoulder? I came to you about my knee. It's like, no, I didn't keep mentioning shoulders. But on this occasion I am, because that's what we're here for. Just relaxing. I bet you wondered if I was going to talk again then, didn't you? That's the longest I went without talking. Even I thought, I wonder, should I just keep quiet for a minute or so? I think everyone would appreciate that. Especially Vinny. He falls asleep. Eventually, once he gets fed up and he doesn't, he's not getting his own way, he just gives up. He lays down by my feet and he goes fast asleep. Doesn't realise how lucky he is to live with such an exciting person. So basically all it is, you focus on your shoulder, you focus on the feeling of your shoulder, you move that feeling out of your shoulder, and like a ball in front of you, just turning. There's different things you can do once it's out in front of you turning. So maybe it's got a colour now. Maybe it's got a colour red or green or blue or purple, whatever it is. If it hasn't got a colour, maybe it's transparent, give it a new colour. Turn it to yellow. Maybe it's got a sound. Notice what sound it is. And you can change the colour to green. Of course, if I mention a colour that it always was or already was, then just ignore that. So it's a case of just changing the colour. So I won't mention any new colours. Change the colour again. And change the colour again. And again. And just push it out a bit further. A bit further away. You can still see it, but it's further away. Notice which way it's spinning. It might be spinning clockwise or anti-clockwise. Maybe there's a way it's spinning it might be just spinning forward or spinning backwards. So whichever way it's spinning, just reverse it. Spin it the opposite way. Notice how that changes it. So that feeling, what you can do now is you can freeze it. Just turn it into a piece of ice. And you can travel with that piece of ice to that hole, that really large hole we were talking about earlier, that's too hot to dig. And you can drop that piece of ice all the way down there. And it'll be falling for quite a while. But of course it'll melt when it, 'cause it's so hot down there. It'll disappear. And I suppose something you can do is you can start to think of the future, how you're going to feel tomorrow, how you're going to feel the next day, with a calm and relaxed shoulder. Imagine being fully active, doing all the things that you would normally do naturally, feeling completely relaxed and peaceful, completely calm, serene. And there may be a strange sensation in your mind, almost like, a bit like when you see a magic trick. And it's like, okay, how did that happen? I saw something the other day, well, it's a while back, and it was that kind of situation. I thought, how on earth, this cat is down my road where I live, so I'm just with Vinny walking towards the park, and I hear this noise. Vinny, he hears every cat everywhere, so he turns around and I look where he's looking. This cat jumps out of the bathroom window, which is upstairs on someone's house, and there's this like a veranda or whatever it is just above the front door, like a shelter kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. So it jumps from the kitchen window onto this patio thing, and then jumps onto the car roof, then the car bonnet, and then onto the ground. As I explain it, it doesn't sound so spectacular, but at the time, I'd never seen anything like it. And maybe that's how people felt in the West when they first saw an elephant. It's like, what is that? The sides are all well, but it's got a willy on its face. Like, I don't know. It must have been weird. I don't know if I should have ended it on that. Blimey, didn't know that was coming out of my mouth. So yeah, it's just sometimes like, what? How? I used to get that a lot when I was younger. Like, I don't mean at school. Why have you just? What are you talking about? I don't mean I did get that, but sometimes there's the whole like, why it's changed? Why? Well, you just spent the last hour listening to me. Didn't you want it? Didn't you want your shoulder to relax? Don't you? Didn't you want your shoulder to feel different now to how it did before you decided to listen to me for the single purpose to feel more comfortable, to feel more relaxed, more peaceful? And sometimes it can almost feel a bit unbelievable, like, how? He's literally been talking absolute rubbish for an hour. How can that benefit? How can that be of use? But then you got the proof that actually, oh, it feels different. I'm not expecting you to do cartwheels or, send me a birthday cake. Although it's not my birthday, I'm not expecting a firework display in my honour. But, it's nice. Let me know how you get on. And the more often you listen to this, the more benefit you can gain. Plus, I do regular recordings for lots of different things. So much of it is relaxation. Even the Let Me Bore You to Sleep recordings are basically, it's about calming, feeling more relaxed. And it's nice to just let go. Take a break, for an hour. And allow your body to realign. So that you feel more refreshed. Invigorated. And I'm probably the only person you'll ever hear say the words refreshed and invigorated in such a boring manner. There wasn't a huge amount of energy behind those words, was there? I'm just very relaxed, a very relaxed talker. If I started shouting, invigorated and completely, ooh, your shoulder feels amazing now. Oh, that probably wouldn't fit in with the way that I talk. Doesn't change how you feel. It's how you feel. Relaxed and calm, peaceful. And Herbert the pigeon's out there, he agrees. Or actually just shouted, "All right, Jay." Like, can't talk right now, mate. I'm in the middle of a recording. I don't know if you can hear me. Again, I didn't want to shout because that wouldn't have been good. Oh, he did hear me. He said, that's okay, but blimey, that's a lot of chatting. Right, he just said, yeah, did I tell you about the new shoes I bought? All right, I'll chat to him later. The thing is, imagine like if you told someone, oh, I'm going to listen to this recording, about that this bloke Jason's made, and they ask you later, so how did you get on with the recording? And he said, I was really relaxing, and then he started shouting at a pigeon that's in a tree, started talking really loudly and having this big conversation with a pigeon. It was just weird. So that's why I'm not going to. Well, I had a partial conversation with the pigeon, but I'm not going to be talking loudly to the pigeon, because that'd just be weird, wouldn't it? It's like just getting up and going to the toilet and not editing it out. Actually, it's nothing like that, is it? It's not really. Well, no, it's nothing like that. That might happen one day by accident. I did actually make a recording. I made a video once where I fell asleep. I don't know if I was doing a live session or not, but I can't remember. It might have been a live Facebook or YouTube post stream. And it was just me snoring for about 2 hours. Oh well. So I'm going to go and have some tea cakes and a cup of tea. Toasted tea cakes and a cup of tea. That's what I'm going to do. And watch a bit of telly. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And also be gentle with yourself, because you deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.